In high school, I had that really cool teacher that said to the class, "Hey class, this movie's rated R. Don't tell your parents that I'm going to show you clips because we need to learn certain subjects and this movie is a great comparison of what we're learning." So I had that really cool teacher said, "Don't tell your parents." But I'm the kid that went home and said, "Hey mom, watch Schindler's List today in class." But she don't care because we were all said to each other, "It's for history." Schindler's List. In 1993, same year that Steven Spielberg released Jurassic Park, I never realized that. Like, I mean, I probably have, but when I was doing this review right before I started, I was like, wait, that was Jurassic Park, because I know Jurassic Park, June 11th, 1993, and this was released in December, and Spielberg directed probably his best a masterpiece to a lot of people's opinion. I will agree to that opinion. It's not my masterpiece, because if you saw Jurassic Park review, then you know what I think his masterpiece is. But I can't lie, Schindler's List is 1000% a masterpiece in film history, film culture. It is one of those movies where you just need to watch it once. It's not a rewatchable movie. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. It's a 3-hour and 14-minute movie, and it's very important history of the Holocaust in 1944, was it? Or 1940? It was between that time when Adolf Hitler was just World War II. It was just a bad time in history. And this movie stars Liam Neeson as Oskar Schindler, who is just pretty much a stocky millionaire who's coming to Germany to make a factory, and so he uses Jews to be his workers because they're the cheapest. And then throughout this entire movie we get to see terrible just depictions of what happened to Jewish people and just the world around what happened in World War II. And then we get to see Oskar Schindler become one of the biggest people ever in history to save more than 1,000 Jewish people. This film, in my opinion, like I said, it is a masterpiece. I'll give it that title. It is a masterpiece. It's not like a masterpiece to like my favorite Spielberg film, because I will say this, Spielberg, he has made so many great films before this. Like, I mean, he was E.T., Jurassic Park, Raiders. I mean, the man was a blockbuster director. And then he made this movie, and everyone was like, "Whoa, Spielberg's doing this?" Because really, he did Color Purple, which obviously gave him a lot of like credibility. Like, hey, he can do drama, he can do history type movies like this, especially if he's into the story. This film is a top 3 movie of all time that is the most hard to watch for me. The scene where they are just invading the ghettos, it is absolutely close your eyes. I am just saddening of what I'm seeing, and the movie was filmed in documentary type style. It puts you in the crowd. It puts you with different miniature little stories of Jewish people getting invaded, getting put on trains, how they got treated, putting them in the workspace, literally them walking to work and saying, "Hey, get this shovel, dig up the snow. We need it for our generals to come down this road in their cars." Like, this movie, the documentary type style, really helps the tone, the mood, how this movie was just, it felt to the audience watching it. It makes you feel just disgusted and just sad and like just heartbroken, and I tear up every time in the ghetto scene. Like I said, to me, that's like the scene in the entire movie. There's great scenes, don't get me wrong, there's great scenes, like the scene with Ralph Fiennes on top of his house with the rifle, horrible, just awfulness. But the ghetto scene is like the scene in my opinion. And speaking of those acting, Liam Neeson, man, I mean, him as Oskar Schindler, this is a top 5 amazing character development in a story. We, in the very beginning, see Oskar Schindler, Liam Neeson, as a kind of a dickhead. He's kissing all the ladies, he's rich, he's coming into Germany or whatever, and he's gonna make a factory, and he's gonna open this thing up, and it's gonna be amazing. You got Nazis walking around, shooting people, throwing people into the dirt, treating them awful, and he's just basically giving them a job, which gives him that life. Like, it gives him a heartbeat. And by the end of this movie, he turns into one of the biggest saviors of Jewish people in history, and what he did for them and how he saved thousands. And I'm not going to spoil what he does, because a lot of people haven't seen this movie, and I recommend this movie. I recommend watching it one time, because I will admit, it is not a movie, you're like, oh, Schindler's List, let's watch it. And speaking of that movie, you just desperate not to watch, Ralph Fiennes is fucking amazing. Top 10 villain of all time. Him as the general, despicable. He is horrific. He is literally the definition of the devil in a movie. He tops, to me, like evil generals in movies. He is outrageously evil, and he's amazing in it. I gotta give it to Ralph Fiennes. I couldn't imagine being him and trying to play this role. Like, I just couldn't imagine after doing a cut or a scene and how you feel after what you just did. There's some scenes in this movie, guys, he does. It's so awful. Like the scene where he's in the basement and he has an assistant who is the lady from Matilda. Didn't realize that when I was watching it tonight. And how he treats her when she's soaking wet and how he's like all seductive on her. And like, it is disgusting. I hate him, but he's so good in this movie. And also Ben Kingsley, who plays pretty much the manager of the factory to Liam Neeson. And he's also Jewish. I think he is so underrated in this movie. Not enough people talk about Ben Kingsley. He is so good. And he's our character that we kind of follow during the ghetto scene at first. He's the character we go to. We're like, oh, there's Ben Kingsley. And we get to see him get put in the crowds and how just awful this movie. Like, it's just so... It's a hard movie to watch, guys. But the directing by Spielberg, it is beautiful. This film deserves to be studied for acting, directing, cinematography, editing. Everything about this film can be studied. How it's in black and white. I love how they put it in black and white. It makes it feel like you're watching history, because we're so used to in class watching pictures and reading books, and they're always black and white. It takes that realism from us as the audience who took this history and read it in black and white, watched pictures, all of that, and they put it in the movie like that. It puts you as the audience member like, wow, I'm really seeing it. And that is why I'm so glad Spielberg won the Academy Award for Best Picture, Best Director. It should have won everything it was nominated for, even though it won Best Score for John Williams. And I just feel like Jurassic Park should have won Film Score. I'm sorry. But besides that, this is hands down Steven Spielberg's one of his masterpieces. I will, of course, give it an A+. It's a hard movie to watch, guys, but I can recommend it. Just watch it one time, and you can be done with it. It's a fantastically made film that depicts a terrible time in history that you should watch at least once. So coming up next is it should be The Lost World Jurassic Park. But I will be skipping that because I actually have a review of that film on my channel. I will add it to the playlist, and if you want to go and watch it, it's a little cringy, but to save some time and for me to just keep moving on with the next couple of weeks, I'm going to go ahead and just leave the review I have out. The reason why I reviewed Jurassic Park because it's my favorite movie of all time, and I had a lot more to say in my original video, but that review is going to stay the same. You can go watch it. So now, my next review in the Spielberg series will be the film Amistad. I have only seen the movie one time, long time ago, so I'm excited to watch it tomorrow. Anyway, guys, enjoy this review, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys.